on Philly Sports Radio and said that it would be silly to not have Jalen Hurts as a top 10 player, but the reasoning why may not be what you think.
If we were going to take Jalen with all 32 starting quarterbacks and just put him on a field and just had him throw, which is the basic premise of the position, he wouldn't be in your top 16. I don't think he would be in a lot of people's top 16. But all he's done is win. All he's done is play huge and big moments. And so, my take on him is, I got asked this yesterday, I think it's silly to not have him as a top 10 player at the position.
Okay. Dan Orlovsky saying that all he does is win. That's why he's a top 10 quarterback. And it's not strictly based on his ability to throw the ball. First and foremost, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? How do you make sense of something like that? Does this mean that it is strictly wins and losses? Yet, we never know how much to factor in a team or not. I'm going to be making another video that'll be posting on Sunday about, you guessed it, Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. And I didn't see the clip yet, but I saw, essentially the bottom line thing. And oh, did it set me off. And I was cooking food. I was making it. I was in the kitchen, and I saw it 'cause I was just talking on my phone, and it made me see red. And I already came up with my take, and I was like, I'm going through the whole take in my mind. And I was like, dude, you should just go record right now. I was like, I can't. I'm like I got water boiling and stuff. I was like, I got to just keep this energy, keep this anger, keep this in my, all of my heart right now. And so be on the lookout for that, 'cause it's one of the takes that drives me absolutely positively insane. It drives me absolutely positively insane. But a take like this is what I find so interesting. So interesting because, and I skipped this video, on First Things First that I saw. Again, I didn't watch it, but I just saw, the thumbnail and whatnot, and it was about surprise Patrick Mahomes is not considered top 3 or whatever. And I think it was top 100 in the NFL as a whole, not top 3 quarterback or whatever. And I was just I knew it was just going to be all a bunch of propaganda, so I was like, it's really hot out. I don't got the strength for that right now. So I'm not going to do that. But it did still make me think of what my take would be. It's hard for me not to see any type of clip or even a thumbnail or title or not immediately just start crafting a take. It's literally impossible. I can't watch anything sports related and not automatically craft a take. It was actually kind of scary when it first happened. When I first started making videos, I was like, my relationship with sports is completely changed. And I was like, will I ever be able to watch sports, ever again without constantly having my mind, go? And the answer's no. My mind's always going. And so, which is great. I love it. But the reality is that if you still want to keep a Patrick Mahomes top 3, then you have to have a Jalen Hurts top 10. Because the criteria that you would need to use to have a Mahomes still top 3, you then have to offer that to Jalen Hurts. And you would then also have to, if you wanted to keep him out of top 3, then you especially have to keep Jalen Hurts top 10, because if you want to have him out of top 3, you say to yourself, well, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, he didn't even make the playoffs or use that now last a couple of years or so. And then it's well, here Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl, got to the playoffs, it was a massive a season, a lot of people keep saying, I'm not going to say it 'cause this is going to be part of my other take. I just realized another point that I want to really drive home. I got to remember that. That I want to drive home in my other video that I'm going to make. Okay, I got that filed away. But it's just the reality is that how much do you value operating and executing an offense versus what Colin Cowherd always talks about, the pure horsepower. The spectacular in-your-face moment. My whole prevailing argument about Jalen Hurts over these years, especially when people say that anyone can win with the Eagles, or the fact that they say that Jalen Hurts holds back the Eagles. I literally just shared this take one like I think a Texans video, earlier. Where it's just like you can say those things all you want, but like what other magical quarterback were the Eagles getting in this time frame? They're not drafting the first or second overall pick. Everyone always says like, oh, Josh Allen or Mahomes. It's like they have no access to having Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Like it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And this whole idea then that you have these other quarterbacks like Baker or Dak, right? And it's just like they would win. And it's like we've seen those quarterbacks in great situations at times, especially Dak. Did not win. Did not rise to the occasion. Like then they would give up on coaching. And it's like no one's out here saying that Jalen Hurts has had this amazing coaching since they have year after year. Like no one can say that. No, nobody could say that. So, it's just one of those things where it's just like how do you want to rank then? You think in your heart that, let's just use Dak as a kind of a perfect example. People in their hearts will think that just Dak is fundamentally a better quarterback. He's a better operator, a better processor, throws a better ball, just a better passer in general, can make more difficult throws, yada yada yada. Yeah. Yet he's had amazing teams for years. He's had amazing teams. He was even coached by a Super Bowl winning head coach. A Super Bowl winning head coach who helped develop Aaron Rodgers. I got news for you. Aaron Rodgers needed to be developed like every other quarterback. Just like how I say Patrick Mahomes needed to be developed by Andy Reid, so did Aaron Rodgers. Do I give him as much credit as I give to Andy? No, I do not. But he doesn't get no credit. He's something. He's certainly not nothing. So, it's just like okay, so like why are we saying that like AK Prescott wins? So, if you think that Dak Prescott is just a better quarterback in a vacuum, fine. Let's just say we agree with that statement, which I'm not saying I do. But let's just say we do. He hasn't won within great circumstances. So, then how do we rank Jalen Hurts then in those moments? Because Jalen Hurts has also been in great circumstances and he's won. And he's won. And when he wasn't in great circumstances, he also got to the playoffs. Sometimes Dak made the playoffs, sometimes he didn't. I'm just saying. So, it's like how do we I ask this question like I feel like once every 6 months or so. It's like how do we actually evaluate what makes a quarterback great? What is a top 10 quarterback? Your ability to carry a team, your ability to win with a great team, your ability just to throw a beautiful ball 30 yards down the field, to have the perfect distribution of throwing in the middle of the field. Like is it I thought it was all cause he said the primary role of a quarterback is to throw the ball. I actually disagree with Orlovsky there. I think it's to run the offense. It's not just throw the ball. You got to run, you got to throw, you got to you got to call plays at times. Sometimes you got to kill plays. Like you got to read defenses. Like lots of things you got to do. Manage an RPO. It's not just throw the ball. It's not. Otherwise, all the best throwers in college would automatically be the best throwers in NFL, and that's not the case at all. I hear a lot of times it was like, gosh, he has such a great arm. He's got such a big arm. And it'll be like about a quarterback who's like, okay, well, why aren't they having more success then? Why aren't they having more? Oh, he's got such a big arm. And it's like, okay, but then why was his first 3 years in the league so bad? Or why did he get benched? So, but it's not just the arm. Tua is statistically one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. That's just basic math. Just math. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. Are you putting Tua in your top 5 list right now? I don't think you are. I don't think you are. And it's just like so, again, how do we have this conversation? 'Cause especially if it's just wins and losses, like, this is not exactly what Lombardi said, but he's saying all he does is win. It's like, well, then Jalen Hurts has to get a lot of credit for that. But you don't want to give him credit because you want to say, well, that it's his team that these other quarterbacks can, but these other quarterbacks have simply not done it. Or you say that these other quarterbacks have won with bad teams or lower less teams, but then they haven't won at the highest level. So, it's just like and I'm not a quarterback wins guy. I do not rate Jalen Hurts based on him, he just wins. Like, that is not how I evaluate it. And I will, of course, as winning a Super Bowl, but when I say that, what's embedded in that is his quality of play. Like, I am not a quarterback wins guy, and if I'm getting in a random, fight with someone in the comments section over Dak Prescott, I'll be like, he's gone to 2 Super Bowls, he won a Super Bowl. Dak has won 2 playoff games, right? Like, that'll be like one of my go-to lines that I say 'cause it's honestly it's like the easiest dunk ever. It's like, your boy has won 2 playoff games. Jalen Hurts has gone to 2 Super Bowls. And yes, in theory, those are team accomplishments. And I do not dispute that at all. That's why I talk about it with Mahomes and Brady, it's like, those are team accomplishments. But Jalen Hurts has played absolutely spectacular. Like, that's the difference. That's why that's one of my always things that I also try to always emphasize. If Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl in 2024 and he just kind of played okay, it was an okay game. Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular. It was a good game. That's it. Nothing bad, nothing terrible. But she said pretty good game. It would be harder to really drive that home. It would be really hard to really be like, he's a Super Bowl winner. It would really embody, that was a team win. Like, Sam Darnold did not play spectacular in this Super Bowl. He didn't need to, but he didn't. He was spectacular in the NFC Championship game. So, why these conversations are always so difficult to be summed up in a comments section or even in like a 15-minute video? Because it's not so much of the goal post is always moving, it's that nothing is ever solidified. Nothing is ever truly solidified. That's why for me personally, I just got 3 baskets, elite, great, good. That's like the main thing that I look at quarterbacks. Are you good? Are you great? Are you elite? And the truth is that it's also kind of floating around. And sometimes a great quarterback can be elite and it can play elite or can have an elite season. Or an elite quarterback can have just a good season. Like, there's just so many variables. There really is. And that's why I understand why people just stick to wins and losses because it's easy. It's so easy to say Joe Burrow is not that good. He missed the playoffs. That's really easy. Really easy to say Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. He has 3 Super Bowls. It's like, okay, I guess so. But then again, Jalen Hurts gets to Super Bowls, wins a Super Bowl, then they want to bring the nuance. Then they want to unpack the conversation. So, even the people that want to simplify things, want to go back on it with Jalen Hurts. And he's really the only quarterback that they do that with, honestly. There's always some cooking the books and always some kind of moving up the goal post when we're talking about and like Josh Allen or Lamar or Mahomes and all that. But you see people completely break their way of viewing the NFL when it comes to Jalen Hurts. You can't go and say what you know, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, he has 3 Super Bowls and then not give any credit whatsoever for Jalen Hurts for winning a Super Bowl. Like it doesn't make sense. It's logically incongruous. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours and be on the lookout for that other video. I haven't recorded yet. I'm probably going to record it right now cause I feel that energy going. But let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing as we are building an amazing community here and I absolutely love to see you part of it. Want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.